Okay, so hey guys and welcome back to another Sport This Week video, and in today's video I've got basketball, baseball, tennis, football, NFL, UFC and boxing news and cricket news. If you are new around here though and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So starting off with this video, I'm going to start off with the baseball news. So going into this week, Red Sox won 4-3 versus Yankees. Red Sox lost 3-1 versus Tigers. Yankees lost 3-0 versus Blue Jays. Giants lost 4-2 versus Padres. Red Sox won 5-3 versus Tigers. Yankees won 4-0 versus Blue Jays. Dodgers won 7-2 versus Twins. Giants won 13-2 versus Padres. Dodgers won 7-0 versus Twins. Red Sox won 9-7 versus Tigers. Giants won 2-1 versus Padres. Yankees lost 6-4 versus Blue Jays. Yankees won 3-0 versus Blue Jays. Dodgers won 9-3 versus Reds. Red Sox lost 8-4 versus Twins. Yankees lost 2-1 versus Red Sox. Versus Orioles. Giants won 4-1 versus Guardians. Dodgers won 3-1 versus Reds. Red Sox won 4-0 versus Twins. Giants won 4-2 versus Guardians. Yankees won 5-2 versus Orioles. Dodgers won 5-2 versus Reds. Yankees lost 5-0 versus Orioles. Red Sox won 8-1 versus Twins. Giants won 8-1 versus Guardians. And Dodgers won 9-1 versus Reds. And yeah, that is all the baseball news. Moving on to the basketball news now. Celtics won 139-110 versus Grizzlies. Heat lost 125-111 versus Magic. 76ers won 118-106 versus Pistons. Bulls won 124-120 versus Timberwolves. Clippers won 138-88 versus Thunder. Lakers won 146-141 versus Nuggets. Clippers lost 109-104 versus Timberwolves. Clippers lost 105-101 versus Pelicans. 76ers won 131-111 versus Raptors. Heat won 115-91 versus Hawks. Celtics won 115-114 versus Nets. And Bulls lost 93-86 versus Bucks. And yeah, that is all the basketball news. Moving on to the tennis news now, where it's the continuation of the Monte Carlo Masters. Tsitsipas and Tsitsipas, which is just, they're just brothers, so I suppose I'll just say Tsitsipas twice, won 2-1 versus Golubev and Sonego. Zverev and Melo won 2-0 versus Herbert and Mahut. Djokovic lost 2-1 versus Davidovich Fokina. Tsitsipas won 2-0 versus Fognini. Tsitsipas lost 2-0 versus Pavic and Mektic. Zverev won 2-0 versus Delbonis. Tsitsipas won 1-2-0 versus Dejeri or Jerry. Zverev won 2-0 versus Carreno Busta. And it was the Billie Jean King Cup as well, where Czech Republic won 6-4 versus Britain, and Swiatek won 2-0 versus Buz Zarensky. And that was the end of that Cup's news for this week. And then Zverev won 2-1 versus Sinner. Tsitsipas won 2-1 versus Schwartzman. Swiatek won 2-0 versus Priskaru. Tsitsipas won 2-0 versus Zverev. Ram and Salisbury won 2-1 versus Cabal and Farah to win the men's doubles Monte Carlo Masters. And Zverev won 2-0 versus Davidovich Fokina to win the men's singles Monte Carlo Masters. And yeah, that is all the tennis news for this week. Moving on to the football news now. Villarreal drew 1 versus Bayern. Chelsea won 3-2 versus Real Madrid. Liverpool drew 3-3 versus Benfica. Man City drew 0-0 versus Atletico Madrid. Leicester won 2-1 versus PSV. Leipzig won 2-0 versus Atalanta. Roma won 4-0 versus Bodo Glimt. Feyenoord won 3-1 versus Slavia Prague. Marseille won 1-0 versus PAOK. West Ham won 3-0 versus Lyon. Frankfurt won 3-2 versus Barcelona. Rangers won 3-1 versus Braga. Burnley sacked Daesh. Inter won 3-1 versus Spezia. Milan won 2-0 versus Genoa. Brighton won 1-0 versus Spurs. Dortmund won 6-1 versus Wolfsburg. Man U won 3-2 versus Norwich. Southampton won 1-0 versus Arsenal. Liverpool won 3-2 versus Man City. Brentford won 2-1 versus Watford. Juventus drew 1-1 versus Bologna. Rangers won 2-1 versus Celtic. Newcastle won 2-1 versus Leicester. West Ham drew 1-1 versus Burnley. Chelsea won 2-0 versus Palace. Leipzig won 1-0 versus Leverkusen. PSG won 2-1 versus Marseille. And Real Madrid won 3-2 versus Sevilla. And yeah, that is all the football news. Moving on to the NFL news now. Raiders extending Carr, Packers signing Watkins, and Colts signing Gilmore. And yeah, that is all the NFL news. Not much this week, but I'm pretty sure the draft might be next week or the week after, so that's something to look forward to. Cricket news now. Root steps down as England Test captain, which is some big news for Joe Root, but we'll still be seeing him for a bit longer playing for the England cricket team. Moving on to the UFC now. Blachowicz will fight Rakic on the 14th of May. Volkov will fight Rosenstruck on the 4th of June. And Muhammad won via decision versus Luque. And yeah, that is all the UFC news. Moving on to the boxing news, which is the final sport, which has quite a lot of news this week. Hatton won by decision versus Gregores, which I did predict right. Kane won via TKO in round 1 versus Gomez to become World Boxing Council International Silver Super Bantamweight Champion. So fair play to Kane. 20-second finish. The fight only went for 20 seconds, so that was quite mental. Billiam Smith won via KO in round 8 versus McCarthy to remain European and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Champion. Ben won via KO in round 2 versus Van Herden to remain WBA Continental Champion, which I did predict right. I did say it would be in round 2. I did say stoppage, but I mean to get it in round 2, and I predicted round 2, so it's quite good. Cunningham won via stoppage in round 6 versus Lecouvier to remain IBF and EU Super Bantamweight Champion. Heaney won via unanimous decision versus Ramirez to remain International Boxing Organization Middleweight Champion. Chima won via won the lightweight boxer series. Spence won via TKO in round 10 versus Ugas to become WBA and IBF welterweight champion, which I did predict right, but I didn't get the round right. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you have enjoyed. Like the video if you did, need like the video. Subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.